And this is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services at the Direct Marketing Club of New York. We had a fascinating talk about the growing field of onboarding data and feeding all of the social media promotions that are going on. And we've got three of our speakers, Kevin Whitcher, who is from Oracle, Anneka Gupta, who is from LiveRamp, and Paul, let's start with you. Tell us about your company.
Tell us about so Throtle is a independent deterministic onboarder. We were founded in 2014. We compete against the stalwarts of the business, and we also are frenemies in the business. And our focus is just creating an atmosphere of accuracy, depth, and individual onboarding.
Okay. And Anneka, tell us a little bit about what is the data that's important to onboard? What is the data that brands are looking to capture, to use, to better market to these customers?
It's kind of all of the data. So, I mean, it starts with their customer data, their transaction data in the offline world, but they're also trying to bring together that data in the online world as well and understand who is interacting with them across TV, across their customer support channels, across their website, their mobile app, and their store. So really, it's everything that they know about their customer, both their owned data, data that they're licensing from other parties for acquisition, data they get from their partners as well as part of co-marketing campaigns and activities. And that's all the data that they're trying to bring together.
Okay, tell us, if you would, just a little bit about your company.
Sure. So LiveRamp is a division of Acxiom. We are an identity resolution company, so we help marketers bring together all of their data across every touch point and every engagement they have with their customer, allow them to unify that, and then activate upon it to deliver relevant and meaningful messages to their customers.
And Kevin, one of the points was how many platforms the average customer has. I think I had 3 at the table today I was trying to work with to follow the meeting, and now we're talking in zettabytes of data that are expected to increase astronomically in the coming 5 years or so. What do you have to do in this field to manage the platforms and the devices that a customer has and this tremendous amount of data that everybody's producing?
Yeah, what you have to do today is very different than what you're going to have to do tomorrow, because as you mentioned, this is growing phenomenally. So what we've done to really manage this and get on top of it is to invest heavily in data science in a way that allows us to take that consumer, that person, and be able to link them to all of those new devices and all of the old ones. For us, a telephone number, a home address, and an email and a device ID all have the same weight and all the same importance.
Very good. And Paul, one of the topics brought up and discussed was understanding the customer journey when they're making a purchase, from the time they're looking at advertisements to making a purchase to showing them cross-sells and additional offers. Why is all that important, and how do you manage that?
Yeah, so that's actually the holy grail of this whole identity resolution and onboarding piece. And the important part of that is, you're spending a lot of money you're getting a lot of people on board to be onboarded, and on top of that, you're spending money to place media against that. So what you want to make sure of is that the people that you're actually putting the media in front of are actually transacting. So whether they're looking at the ad, they're clicking on the ad, whether they're going to the retail store, whether they're going to the website, you have to make sure that they're actually purchasing or being aware of the product that you're pushing. And using persistent IDs from your onboarding provider gives you that enablement to go ahead and follow that journey from the actual onboarding piece all the way through a transaction.
Okay, and I got to ask Anneka, my company, CBSI, works in the bank business, a lot of bank credit card work, and you mentioned financial services was one of the early adopters of onboarding in this process. Tell us a little bit about some of the applications of financial services, if you can.
Yeah. So financial services companies have obviously been using data for many years, both on user acquisition and then cross-selling products to existing customers. So those are at a high level the kinds of use cases that we're serving for them. Some of the most exciting use cases that financial services have been the fastest vertical to adopt has been use cases around site personalization. So that includes site personalization when a user logs in and they know something about the customer. They can personalize what content they're showing showing, what offers they're showing, and so on. But even more importantly, when someone isn't logged in, and that's where we really come in, is we can help them bring more data and really understand who that person is so that they can personalize the content of the site immediately when the customer shows up, and they don't have to wait to learn more about the customer, wait for the customer to actually log into their system before they're engaging with them more meaningfully.
Very good. And Kevin, another topic, there were so many topics that you covered in the session today, the Direct Marketing Club in New York, was accuracy. How do you identify an individual accurately and then apply accurate information about their preferences or their purchase history, perhaps? How do you do this accurately?
We've built a system that allows us to take some of the data we have and actually test all of the links that we see against that data so that we can make sure that we actually have an accurate and valid ID. This is an area I encourage all of the advertisers out there to ask about and to push on. Is we all work very hard at this, and our goal is to give you as accurate as possible. And so, as a lot of us do, I think we're very open to testing. We want to see tests. We want to make sure that what we're doing is good for you and your business.
Okay. And maybe each just give a final thought about why this is an important activity for more brands to try to learn about and to get started with.
At the end of the day, you guys as brands need to reach your consumers and the consumers you don't yet have. In order to do that, identity resolution and for a portion of that, onboarding is very important. Marketing today is online. That's where we all spend our time. And if you can't reach your consumers and the consumers you want to have, you're going to struggle.
Anneka from LiveRamp.
So I think consumer expectations are rapidly changing, and what consumers expect today is that you are going to be able to deliver them what they want in their exact moment of need. And that's why companies like Amazon are able to perform so well and drive great business results, is because they're able to engage with customers in a very meaningful way at the right moment and with the right message. And so if brands lag behind and aren't actually adopting this kind of technology, they're going to have a really hard time delivering the types of consumer experiences that their customers are starting to expect.
And Paul from Throtle.
So they touched on all the right reasons for a marketer to engage in an identity resolution and onboarding. And my final thought on that, this used to be an early adopter, nice to have kind of a discipline, and now it's a must-have. Every marketer, if they want to reach their customers online accurately, they have to onboard, they have to identify them through a graph, and they have to be able to reach them across any platform, any device at any time. So this is now a must-have for any marketer.
Absolutely. Thank you for a fascinating session. A lot to learn, a very important new topic. Great to see you. This is Ken Kreitzer from CBSI Services for the Direct Marketing Club of New York.